Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boy.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Richest Steve in Atlanta, where it is about the journey, not the status. I am your host, Stevie Steve, the Richest Steve in Atlanta. Back at y'all with episode number 43 in this piece. Y'all, we are now starting to prepare for 2025. It is that time where we will reflect on 2024 and we are focusing full-fledged on 2025. So y'all will be seeing that pretty much across this channel for now on. We looking forward to 2025. The only thing we're going to do is we're going to look back and see what we accomplished in 2024 at a different date closer to the end of the year. But for now, we are preparing for 2025. Because of that, we got two topics for you today. Financial moves you need to make to prepare for 2025. And then we have investing in the stock market, where to begin, where to start. Y'all, we're going to go ahead and get right into that. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment on your way in the door. Starting with financial moves to prepare for 2025. Y'all, like I said in the beginning of this, we are preparing for 2025. And what other way to prepare for this than knowing what you need to prepare for financially? You want to make sure that your money is right in 2025. You want to make sure that you are getting to that bag in 2025. You want to make sure that you are progressing financially in 2025. And the only way you can do that is by preparing for this thing to happen. So let's go ahead and get right on into this video.
So we are back with our series On the Money, and the end of the year fast approaching, and there are some financial moves that we should all be making right now to set us up for success in 2025. Here to explain those moves and how to do it, NBC News senior business analyst Stephanie Rule. Always good to see you.
I'm going to remind your audience, because you know this, the last time I was here, I was giving advice on how to get a new job or a promotion. And the next day, this man was named the co-anchor of the Today Show.
That's
so if you're watching at home, get your pencils out. You're right.
You're right, actually.
Fact.
Those are facts. Thank you for the job, Stephanie.
There we go. Here to help.
Where should folks start when we're looking at where we should be spending?
Let's find out where you are spending. Audit. Don't change your behavior. Don't judge yourself. I know you're a spender. Just write it down.
I know you're a spender.
Where is all of your money going? Food, drinks, parties. Write it down. Then you're going to know where it is. Next, avoid unnecessary ATM fees. Okay. The next time you walk into a convenience store and go to use that ATM, I want you to think of me looking at you going, Make an appointment once a week. Remind yourself, go to the bank, go to an ATM. You don't want to pay $4 every time you're doing it. Next, if you're thinking about moving to online banking, this is a good time. A lot of online bank accounts, your savings account, your checking account are now higher yielding. They will pay you more. You're going to get less service, but isn't it great to get more dough? And please do this. Order a free credit report. You can do it once a year. It's annoying, but you need to. There's a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of fraud. And that credit score impacts so many elements of your life.
Every time I've checked my credit, I've found a mistake.
Literally there you go. Well, you probably have bad credit.
Hold on. Let's go ahead and look at this list real quick. Number one, audit your spending. Before 2025, I would definitely advise y'all. The first thing to do would definitely be to audit your spending. You need to sit down and look at where you've actually spent your money in 2024. Did a majority of this thing go to shopping? Did a majority of this thing go to saving? Did a majority of this thing go to traveling? Sit down and audit your spending. When you do this, it allows you to move in a way that you know where your money's going, so you can start to utilize it in the places that you need to. It's just auditing your spending. Maybe you spent too much money this year on drinking. So now you're looking at that and you say, okay, well, in 2025, I would like to dial back my spending on entertainment and hookahs. Y'all know I'm winking at myself. That's something that I will be doing for sure. Next, you have avoid unnecessary ATM fees. I'll put all of this stuff into the same thing, really. Avoiding ATM fees and choosing a bank with no fees, higher interest rates. Those both, of course, are things that you want to do. Avoiding unnecessary ATM fees, guys, that's pretty much. I don't even understand how a lot of y'all keep a lot of cash anyway. I do keep emergency cash on me, but most of the time, they accept touch everywhere, y'all. Get with the technology. Get your technology up. Let's be real. But choosing banks with no fees, higher interest rates. This literally just affected me, I would say probably about a month ago. A month ago, I got a influx of money and I was trying to figure out where to put this thing at. So I went and asked some questions and they give me feedback like, okay, so when do you expect to spend this money, or do you need it now, or different things like that. I'm not in the medium. I'm in the medium range. Like, I don't want to put it in the stock market because the stock market, you never know when you actually might need to pull that. So because I would want to use this money next year. So yeah, don't do that. So we settled on get a high yield savings account. So I actually took the time to look at different banks and everything just to see what would be offered, because y'all know a regular bank savings accounts, you get pretty much nothing in interest on those. So this would be a great time for you to choose a bank if you have a savings account, if you have an emergency fund or anything like that. Choose a bank with higher interest rates with online banking. Like she said, it might not be as accessible as having a Wells Fargo or a Bank of America or a Chase Bank right there with the ATM. However, you are getting, like she said, a little bit more dough on that. Also, now is definitely a great time to look at your credit report. For me, my credit report it's on my banking app. I don't know if y'all know that little trick, but you do get a free one every year. You might as well keep up with it and see what dings you may have, or what things will be dropping off your account as well. But let's go ahead and continue with these.
So many elements of your life.
Every time I've checked my credit, I've found a mistake.
There you go. Well, you probably have bad credit. I'm just kidding.
She giveth and she taketh away. So we've tracked our expenses. After we track our expenses, what's the first money move we should make, Steph?
Create a budget, right? Like, you've got big plans next year, not just like, oh, I think it'll work out. If you don't actually set money aside and say, we want to go on a trip, set a separate account for it. If you want to save for some furniture, set a separate account directly from your paycheck into a separate savings account so you won't even touch that money. Next, look at all your debts out there. Yeah. And instead of having a credit card debt here and there, consolidated under one card. This one's really important. Over the years, you have all sorts of insurance: car insurance, homeowners insurance, renters insurance.
Life insurance.
Actually figure out, do the policies that you've paid for reflect the lifestyle that you're living? And last, talk to a personal finance person, or at least a personal finance app. It might cost you a bit of money to do so. So make sure you have everything in order, but you might want to talk to somebody to just get things organized so you're not just doing it once a year.
Big spender standing.
All right, let's go ahead and get these down. Create a budget. Y'all, we love budgets over this way. Love a budget, love a good budget. You should have a budget. But if you don't have one, now would be the perfect time to create one, or to start looking into the type of budget that you would want for 2025. So once January hits, you hit the beginning of the year with a budget that you already want for January of 2025. Perfect time. This is the perfect timing to do a lot of things, because a lot of people, they just want to, they feel like it's a start of a new, so everybody wants to bring things in. But in order to do that, you need to be prepared. So go ahead and prepare that budget so that on January 1st, you're not struggling to try to create that budget. Set up automatic savings. You can really set up your whole financial goals and moves on autopilot. I do that all the time, y'all. It's barely It's rare with any of the money that I transfer over that I actually go in and transfer it myself. Most of the time, for a majority of my stuff, it's all automated. That's the easiest way to do it. Consolidate credit card debt. I would agree, having debt spread out in so many different places, it can be hard to really focus on all the debt that you have, to actually know how much debt you have. So consolidating that credit card debt down to your lowest APR card would be smart financially. That way you can start tackling that credit card debt, y'all. Just because you consolidate it doesn't mean that you leave it there. You need to start tackling that debt, getting out of credit card debt for sure. Updating insurance policies. Not too much keen on that, so we're going to continue. But try personal finance apps, or talk to a professional. Y'all, the app that I'm using, no, I'm not getting paid for this. I just see value in the app. So every dollar, I use every dollar, y'all. It's easy. By Dave Ramsey. Everyone knows Dave Ramsey. So yeah, just do the every dollar app. The thing about a lot of these apps, though, when you first get onto them, there can be, you don't get as much value when you first get there, y'all. I feel like, because you don't have the data inside of the app that it needs to tell you a lot about your spending habits, where you can save, where you're spending your money. So over time, this every dollar app has become way more valuable for me, just having it, because I've only had this app for 6 months now. I would say about 6 months, because I had Mint before then. But once you actually keep doing these things, keep inputting your data into these personal finance apps, they start pushing out things that can really help you, so that you can see how to really invest your money in different places, or where you're spending your money, or talk to a professional. Mentorship is always great. If you have somebody that you can talk to about money, I would advise you to go ahead and start having that conversation at this time. Even I would probably like to actually talk to somebody professionally about my finances, because at this point I'm entering into a different stage where more money is at stake for me, just because now I'm done paying off my debt, my student loan debt. I'm done paying that off. So I have different goals and aspirations for 2025 that don't involve saving or paying things off. It involves accumulation. So I even would be looking to talk to a real professional, instead of looking at the apps or going to YouTube University. Let's go ahead and continue.
So this is kind of short-term stuff. What will we do now to set us up for the long term?
Okay, I know nobody likes to think about their 401k, especially if they're young, but you need to do it. Start maxing out your retirement contributions, especially if your company matches. It matters. Another one, there's a backdoor way of a Roth IRA where you can legally move money from a traditional IRA into a Roth one, and that grows tax-free, and we all want that. This one's really important. Even if you think you're not some big investor, rebalance your investments. Just take check. Well, do you own stocks? Do you own bonds? Hey, maybe you got a little crypto a few years ago, a little bit. Well, guess what? It might be worth a lot. Sure. Just figure out what you have. And probably most important, update your beneficiaries, right? You've got a new baby granddaughter, and make sure she's on that list.
Oh, she's absolutely.
Yeah, let's see so we can see this. All right, y'all. Now, this is talking about preparing for your future. Well, at least for Steve's future. Some people might be a little older. Max out retirement contributions. Check out backdoor Roth IRA. Rebalance your investments. Update beneficiaries. Guys, if you are not investing into your retirement, I'm telling you that the time to do that would perfectly be now. I know people, y'all, who have been working in their job for probably over a year, 2 years, 3 years, and they're actually not contributing to their retirement. there could be, first off, a lot of money that you're leaving out on the table because a lot of companies do match. They do match. I know my company does what, 5 or 4%. So as long as you put in 5 or 4%, they match you to that. That's free money. That's not free money. First off, it's not free money. That's your contractual money. You wrote down on that when you signed up for that. They basically said, if you put this money, we're going to give you more money. So you're actually, because you're not holding up your end of the contract, they don't have to hold up theirs. So you're basically leaving 5% of your owned money because you didn't put up 5% or 4% or whatever as well. Y'all need to be checking out these retirement accounts that you may have, because I know with a lot of these, you may think that just because money's sitting there, you actually have to allocate the money to go into different stocks as well. So take a look into your retirement. Take a look and see what your company actually offers. Y'all go to HR. They are there to help. And a lot of the retirement or contributions, they actually have help lines to help you set all this stuff up so that you can better understand it as well. I know a lot of y'all probably did go through, you having to sign back up for your insurances and all those things through your job. So that would have been the perfect time to actually look into a lot of these things. But yeah, check those things out. Rebalance your investments. Guys, it's a perfect time. I've been doing this. I'm honestly going to up the amount that I'm putting into my investments, into the stock market. Maybe start looking into some crypto for 2025. But this is the best time to actually start doing your research and start getting your foot wet on what you want to do with those. So actually looking at your investment portfolio and seeing how it's doing, what's going on with it. Maybe you want to cut spending to this, or add spending to that. That's all that will help you in your future. And update beneficiaries. Y'all, then give the money to somebody. You don't want them fighting over the money just in case something does happen. But let's go ahead and continue.
You've got a new baby granddaughter, and make sure she's on that list.
Oh, she's absolutely. I cut the others off.
Before we chose 2025, what are some last minute things we could do in 2024?
Here we are. It's the end of the year. Use your flexible spending dollars, right? Those medical expenses, the money set aside. Chances are it wraps up at the end of the year, maybe a little bit into 2025. Use it now. Even if you're not going to the doctor, go to the pharmacy and go see the doctor. You probably have used all your deductible. Get those doctor's appointments, and last, make a charitable donation, and consider a charitable donation for a Christmas gift or a service. If you're coming to my house, don't bring me a scented candle that smells like a plastic tree. Do the dishes.
Wow.
Don't bring me a scented.
That is crazy, y'all. Last minute tips: use your flexible spending dollars, schedule doctor's appointments, make charitable donations, y'all. Those are just checkup items for you all. If you do have flexible spending dollars, go ahead and spend them now, because you don't want to leave that money out on the table. I know that sounds like some tax-free. What is it? No, I don't think that's that, but it's something different. Forget that, guys. But yeah, that sounds like some tax-free money that you're leaving out on the table because you didn't spend it all on your health. Y'all know, if you know what type of account I'm talking about. And scheduling doctor's appointments and doing all those things. I probably could do some of these things. And I could be a little bit charitable as well. It's a lot of things that we could do, but they're last minute tips, y'all. Last minute tips. Overall, I just think that we hit some of the main points. Is you need to audit your finances overall. That's all that this whole thing was auditing your finances, because you want to make sure that you know where your money's going, what your money's doing. And at the end of the year, perfect time to do it, because we're about to reset and we are preparing for 2025. Hey, but y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know how y'all feel about that. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic of the day. Investing in the stock market, where to start. All right, y'all, let me go ahead and tell y'all why I decided to put this as a topic for today, especially when it comes to preparing for 2025. When it comes to investing in the stock market, y'all, I know that in the beginning you're lost and there's a lot of time that you're going to spend because you don't understand the stock market. You don't know where, or you're doing research and it's just so much that you have to do to be considered a intelligent investor or anything like that, that you will have you will not apply yourself. Basically, you won't apply it. You'll have consumption paralysis or something like that, something like that. The only reason I know this is because it happened to me. Guys, in 2022, in 2022, I said I was going to invest into the stock market. So I started doing a little something, but I stopped, y'all. So when I stopped, of course, nothing was growing. But the only reason I stopped is because I didn't know. I wasn't applying myself. I wasn't active in the stock market. So I wasn't learning. I didn't learn anything. And 2 years later, I was looking at the stock market and I was like, dang, the stock market is actually up. And if I would have done what people suggest, which is just start, get you just a basic ETF and things like that, I would have been way further in my financial journey right now than I am. So now at the beginning of 2024, I'm doing the things and I've seen growth in my finances and I'm actively participating in the stock market. So yeah, that's pretty much why I decided to do this video, is because I want to encourage you all to just start, even though you won't know everything. There's no way you'll know everything when you're just beginning in the stock market, but you need to literally just start. And there are places that you can just start, but let's go ahead and get this video in here. Investing for wealth starts with a brokerage account. Let's go ahead and get right on into that.
A lot of young people aren't very confident in their money knowledge and avoid risk, according to a Wallet Hub survey. 57% of Gen Z think savings accounts are the best way to invest their money. Here are some tips to get Gen.
Oh God, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. A savings account, I think, is probably the worst spot to invest your money. Savings account has to be the worst. You're not getting anything for that. You're not getting anything for that at all. And when they say investing for wealth starts with a brokerage account, y'all, I will have money just sitting in my brokerage account and it gets a bigger interest than the money that I had sitting in my little savings account. So that statement is not
interested in investing. We've got Ashley Fox. She is the CEO of Amplify. Great to have you back in studio with us. And so how can we make sure that the future generations are confident about their investing strategy, and where can they potentially start to put toe in the water or put some skin in the game?
So when I think about investing and building wealth, you cannot save or work your way to wealth. So
we have to start investing. When we think about our buying power and spending our money, these companies are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What if we start to own a piece of these companies? And as the Gen Z population continues to go into the workforce, spending their money is only going to make the economy grow, but how can we build our wealth with it? So opening brokerage accounts. Yes, saving is great, but what about when they get older? What about when they're thinking about retirement? What if we start retiring early and we have our money working for us? So it is extremely important that we are not just relying on savings accounts. We are also investing in the stock market.
And so what are you?
Yep, y'all. She put it 10 times better than I did. Like I said, y'all, I am actually, I would say, relatively new to investing in the stock market. I've only been doing it for a year, and my aim in being in the stock market is actually passive growth over time. So I'm even looking at the long term. I'm looking at the long term. I'm not looking in the options, shorts, all those, all those extracurricular things that you can do in the stock market. Right now, I'm only focused on the long term goal of this thing. And like she said, we need our money to be working for us. Y'all, one of my favorite books is The Richest Man in Babylon. In The Richest Man in Babylon, he literally explains how your money should be working for you to get more money. The words they use is kind of crazy. Your dollars are like your slaves. And every dollar should be out working, trying to produce you more slaves. Investing 101. Compound interest 101. Once those slaves go get more slaves, all right, we're going back to dollars, y'all. We're going back to dollars because I don't want to be talking about no slaves. Once those original dollars get more dollars, and then those dollars after that start collecting more dollars, compound interest just like that. 10% should be going to yourself off the rip. And then you use that 10% to get more money. And in a savings account, 57% of young people prefer saving. Saving is losing value. If you have a sack of money and you just hiding it under your bed, come back in 10 years. If you have $100 and you hide that $100 under your bed, go back to it in 10 years, that $100 will be what? Spending value, $50 maybe? I'm not gonna say that it's that drastic, but y'all understand what I'm saying. The value of that $100 went down. However, if it was in the stock market, if you invested in the right assets, that $100, hey, it might be worth $500. Who knows? Who knows?
Seeing in terms of Gen Z and how they're doing their own investment strategy planning, where are they performing well, and where are some of the pitfalls that you're noticing as well?
I'm noticing a lot of Gen Zers are really good at attempting to make money.
Okay.
Right? They're finding different ways to make money, whether it's online in different ways.
That's not a bad thing.
No, I love it. I love it. But what else?
Yes.
Right? We're putting in the effort, we're putting in the time, we're putting in the energy. How are we putting our money to work? And if we think about the school system, we're not taught how to invest. We're not taught how to manage our money. We're not taught how to understand credit cards. So we're good at taking out debt. We're good at shopping. We're good at creating content. But what about investing and building that wealth so that we can create passive income? What about dividend investing, right? What about growth stock investing so that money, while we're working for it, it can also work for us while we are sleeping?
What are the top strategies that any...
There you go right there. We are definitely some hustlers. We are for sure hustling. We trying to get after it. But we're not. With a lot of those things, it's not creating money in our sleep. It's not, and we're putting a bulk of our money into assets that are depleting. If we're being real, cars. You're spending on a lot of things that we don't need, clothes. I wouldn't say vacationing is a fleeting thing, but hey, experiences are worth a lot. I will say that. Yes, experiences are worth a lot, but sacrificing your future, it's a little bit scary on that avenue. But yeah, we are good, definitely at spending and gaining debt. Obviously, it says we just don't know where to put our money in assets that will help us gain money because, like they said, we did not learn this growing up at all.
Anyone can be putting into effect with the last few weeks of the year to set themselves up even before that New Year's resolution when it comes to their investing and saving strategies?
The first thing I would say, you have to get a brokerage account.
Okay.
Because having a savings account, having a checking account, we're good at that. We have to start setting money aside automatically. So the first thing I would say, open the brokerage account and pick a small amount of money every 2 weeks that you can set aside. Nothing too big that forces you to feel like you're about to overdraw your account, but something that can be set aside consistently and automatically so that you're comfortable and confident. I always tell people at Amplify, the people that we're working with, you can start with $20, right? There are brokerage accounts now that allow you to buy fractional shares. What if we $20 our way to $1 million? What if we don't have to work until we're 50, 60, 70 years old, but we're building now while we're young? We're starting small and it's compounding over time. So I would say get the brokerage account open, set small amounts aside automatically so it happens without you even thinking about it, but also build a strategy. Think about at the end of 2025, what do you want life to look like? What kind of money do you want to have coming in? How big do you want your portfolio? How much passive income do you want to have coming in? And start moving with intention. And every single quarter in 2025, increase that automatic deposit just a little bit so that you can train your mind to grow as you grow as a person.
I want to marry two different.
Okay, y'all, I want to go back to that right there. This right here is 101 investing for beginners. 101 investing for beginners, especially when it comes to the stock market. Guys, start early. Can be as little as $20. Become educated to help build confidence. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a little bit in there because I know it's some questions that can be asked. Okay, I know they said get that brokerage account. Where do I get this brokerage account? Y'all, a brokerage account basically is just an account that you use to invest into the stock market. That's what makes it different from a checkings account or a savings account that is with a traditional bank. A brokerage account allows you to invest into the stock market. Okay, that's just period, point blank. Go look for the basic ones, y'all. Fidelity, Charles Schwab. It's one more. It's one more that I'm forgetting. But I use Fidelity. You will also hear things like Weebly. What's the other one? Robinhood. Those are also brokerage accounts that you could get as well. But I just go for the normal brick and mortar, Charles Schwab, Fidelity. Like I said, I have Fidelity. And then when it comes to start early, like I said earlier, y'all, I was actually doing this 2 years ago. I was doing this 2 years ago in 2023. But after I input my first one, I said, I don't know this. So I stopped doing that. I stopped doing it. But I picked it back up and now I only put $25 a week into that thing. I've only been putting $25. That's it. And because I've actually been active in there, I'm becoming more educated with the stocks that are offered, with the different ETFs that they have to offer, where I might want to go in the future with this whole thing. Of course, like I told y'all, I'm full-term, long-term with this thing, but now it has even gave me the confidence to start looking into Bitcoin as another asset that I can invest in, because it's kind of, Bitcoin feels like, to me, it feels like the stock market because it's still growth and all those things. But that's the basics, y'all. That's literally all you need to know to get started with that thing. And then I would even add automated, because like I said, when I didn't have it automated at first, fear definitely it hit. What if I lose money, or what if it's not gaining how I want it to? And I was really in a fearful mindset instead of a abundance mindset. So once that switched over, and at the beginning of this year in 2024, I started investing in that thing, $25 a week, y'all. That's it. That's it. And I've seen growth in this part of my life. But for beginners, I feel like that's all you need. I had a lot of consumption paralysis because I was just consuming so much about, okay, where do I start? How do I do this? Like, what do I put my money into? Now that's something that I definitely can say. Once you get that brokerage account, y'all, you have to go into the brokerage account and actually allocate the money into stocks. And this is where a real big consumption analysis can come in, because, or paralysis, you need to just do it ETF, y'all. Do the big ETFs. VOO, SPY. You won't be able to buy the whole thing most times if you're a beginner, because you're starting with small amounts. But now they do fractional shares and all those things with a lot of the brokerage accounts now. That's what I've been doing. So you just put in a little money here and there until you build up the confidence or the knowledge to actually start investing in single stocks. Look into the magnificent seven, y'all. Look into those things. But the most important thing is that you become a player of this game. Once you become a player of this game, you then almost force yourself to start learning how to play it, y'all. You're gonna start learning how to play it. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. It's like back in the day when you played games, y'all, you didn't have YouTube. You had to learn how to play it. And these days now we have YouTube. So you could even treat this like YouTube, but it is financial. And they say do not take your financial advice off of YouTube, because people on YouTube are not financial advisors. So you got to do your own knowledge check. You got to do all that stuff. However, like I was saying, the best thing is to actually get started, especially if you're in Gen Z. Let's go ahead and continue
about it, but also build a strategy.
Could be a trend that takes place in 2025 within the mindset of the workforce, and where there could be a trend that takes place in 2025 of revenge quitting because there isn't the upward career trajectory. But I'm going to take the other side of that. Say you finally come into that promotion. Say you finally are able to say, all right, I'm getting a new raise. What is your mindset that you need to take on the second some of those things start to fall in line?
So if I'm being honest, I know just whether you are a Gen Z or baby boomer, anyone, when you make more money, you create a way to spend it, which is fine. Acknowledge the fact that you want to spend money on other things. A book,
yeah.
So acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But also understand, to sustain that lifestyle, to always be able to put yourself in a position to get the things that you want, you also have to set money aside so that at some point when you don't have that promotion, at some point where you choose to leave that job, you have accumulated wealth that has been set aside, that has been grown, because it's great to work. It's great to build a business, right? But what about when you don't want to anymore? What about when you want to travel, when you want to do things? What if you don't have to utilize your physical energy to be able to do the things you want to financially? So as you make more, you invest more and pay yourself first, because even though we like to spend, we're giving that money to some other company, to some other individual that is making their money, fine. But what about you? Yeah. Because you're going to decrease your net worth every time you spend. So what if we spend and invest? I always say, it's not this or that, it's this and that.
We got a little bit of time left.
Yeah, she's definitely not lying, but they are getting out of the brokerage talk. So we're just going to go ahead and final thoughts on that, y'all. Final thoughts on investing in the stock market, where to start. Just start. That's the best thing that I can tell you. I know how y'all feel right now. If you're actually doing the research, you're kind of excited, you're kind of nervous, because we all hear big things like stock market crash and all these things. However, if you are looking into longevity of the stock market, it's one of the best places that you can put your money. Think about when it crashed. Think about when the stock market crashed in 2008, guys. Where is it now? If you could have made it through 2008, you're up. It's a lot of fear mongering going on all the time, guys. So my advice to you would be just to start, take the leap and go for it. Have that mindset that she was talking about at the end, y'all. You need to invest in yourself first. And yes, we all are you're getting into a career, getting to the bag. You got more money than you've ever had. Make sure when you are getting a hold of more money, you're not increasing your lifestyle, and instead you are investing it into assets that will grow and produce money for you in the long run. At least 10% to yourself first, guys. With that, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know how you felt about that video. Will you start? Are you planning to start? And automate that thing, y'all. Automate that thing. Your nerves will be way less if you start at a low amount. Like I said, I'm only doing 25. I'm only doing $25. And I'm for sure going to increase to $100 weekly now, because I'm just more confident in the stock market. Even if it goes down, I kind of understand that from 1 year, y'all, I understand that the stock market goes up and down. But when it goes down, that gives you a chance to collect more of that stock at a lower price, because it's going to go back up if you invest into some of the basics, ETFs, the basic ETFs, or like the Magnificent Seven or something like that. Not taking a lot of risk and going in for the long run. Hey y'all, with that, like I said, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Also, update for Steve, y'all. Update for Steve. Like I said, this time of year is really preparing for 2025. Y'all will see a lot of videos about the plans that I have for 2025, about preparing for 2025, having gratitude for 2024, looking at the things that we've accomplished in 2024. That's the vibe for right now. That's the vibe for right now. However, y'all know I am still in a winter arc. I'm still grinding at work. I know y'all noticed this background is different from the last 2 weeks of me being at home. This background is different. Yes, I am on the road again. I told y'all I was doubling down on work. I'm doubling down on work. That's what I'm doing. Making myself more valuable, y'all. Learning more stuff every day. We still in that gym. We still working on that goal. And I'm excited to actually present the goals that I would have for next year as well in some coming videos. Some of the major goals that I have, because just talking about fitness, like I say, y'all know one of my fitness goals was to just get consistent in the gym during this winter arc. And that's something that I have been doing. Being consistent as in going every week, not skipping weeks, trying not to skip 2 days in a row. Y'all know over that little vacation I had, over that little, not vacation, but over the holiday, Thanksgiving, it got a little rough. It did get a little rough making it to that gym every day. But other than that, we've been consistent. We've been locked in on our job. think that's pretty much it, y'all. That's pretty much everything that we've been locked into, and we're still being consistent when it comes to this YouTube thing on pretty much all the fronts that I'm focusing on. That's my update for then, y'all. Be on the lookout for some updates on 2025, y'all. It is that time. I even advise people, hey, start now. Like if you're gonna wait until the beginning of the year, why wait until the beginning of the year? Like we might as well. It needs to be a good reason that you're waiting for the beginning of the year. Other than that, make sure you are preparing for the beginning of the year, guys. I'll talk to y'all later. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and leave a comment on your way out the door. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Peace, love, and riches. I'm out.